back, everyone. Welcome back, man. Welcome back to the channel. Glad to have you guys back again. Good day to everyone. Whenever you're watching this video, morning, afternoon, evening, good night. It's always a pleasure, doing video for my fans. It really mean a lot. But today video is going to be really special. Why? Because this is my bread and butter. But as you can see the thumbnail, as you can see the title, the JPL is back. Match day one. I'm going to go all over the JPL. Just go and look a review, what's happened over the weekend in the Jamaican Premier League, but I want to say this, I've been watching this league for over 20 years, yeah? It might sound ridiculous like I'm old. I'm not old, but I've been watching this league since I was like 4-5 years old. Remember, from the first time Arnett is winning a double, in the 2000, under Jerome Waite and all of that, playing those mid-season final at Arbor View, could go on and on. I'm a true in red and black supporter, so you're going to hear me talk more in depth with the Arnett Garden team because I watch this team day in and day out. I breathe, eat, sleep, everything Arnett Garden. I'm not from Jungle, but I'm close by from a neighborhood, where I used to live in Jamaica, but so big thanks again, to the JPL organization, everyone that make it possible to restart back the league, the sponsor, Ria Neville, Ria Neville used to sponsor the league previously, but after 16 years, they are back again in the Premier League, the main sponsor, they used to sponsor the league, I think, right after the Craveney League, that early 2000, they took over from Craveney, in 2002 to 2006, and they extended their contract from 2006 to 2012, but they didn't manage to materialize out. They didn't only manage to go on for the next season. Some problems, with Orius Burrell and the Jamaican Premier League organization with some contract issues, so they just cut ties from there. I know, but after 16 years, they are back. They are the main sponsor for the Jamaican Premier League, Ria Neville. Big up to Ria Neville. Ria Neville to sponsor the league. We saw the Boom El Clasico. Arnett Garden is dominating that over Waterhouse. They won it. A couple days ago. At Jewsland. The final rematch, a power final rematch between Cavalier and Mount Pleasant. Big up to Mount Pleasant. Shout out to them. They're doing a really good job down there at Jackson. Peter Gould, the owner. They have a wonderful academies where players could come up. They won their first ever top flight league in Jamaica, and put the ice on top of that, they got a player transfer from their club straight to the Seria A Salernitana. Big up to Trevante Stewart, man. But crazy things happen in the JPL this weekend. There was a double header at Draxal, that's where it kicks off, Lime Hall and Falkland, not Lime Hall, Lime Hall and Treasure Beach, they are in the Premier League. Treasure Beach is from St. Elizabeth. They will play their home games at Stets, and Lime Hall will play their home games. They are from St. Anne, so they will use the Jacksal Stadium at Mount Pleasant. So I big up the sponsors them already, Boom, Powerade, Water, all these play, Ria Neville, shout out to all the sponsors them, but I have one thing, I have not one thing, I have a few things that I want to say. I would love the organization for the Premier League, to try to make this a family atmosphere, because when I go to games over here, I go to pre-season tournaments for the European teams, USL, MLS, you name it. Even when me myself was playing in the semi-pro league over here, just a year and a half ago, the atmosphere when fans turn out to come watch a game, it's always a family atmosphere. You always have things for the kids to do. You have food. You have all these accessories all over the ground. Like Sunday, I went to a USL playoff game, and it was just lovely to see. The kids have a little mini park, like probably like what I would say at 15 yards foot scrimmage field where they could go and play in the artificial. Kids have things to do. They have toys, they have things that kids can, the thing that they knock together and all of that. So it's a family atmosphere. You could see that it was most of family. Couples can come out and have a drink. I'm take time to it's happening in the JPL, but it's gonna take time. It's Jamaica, we understand that, but at the end of the day, we love to see these things manifest a little bit more quicker because these things are the basic, attract when you can attract families, when you can attract couples come to game, you will get more support, rather than trying to attract individual fans to come out and watch the game. But website, I would love the JPL to create a website where, just like the English Premier League, where you can, go on a website, you can get anything, you can get stats, you can get anything about the clubs, transfers, there. But we need more news coming out of the JPL when it's a half season. When it's half season, everyone social media is quiet. That's why we need things to start to buzz over. Talk about players transfer and all of those stuff. You know, the next thing, I'm really glad for, football is back in the community. Tivoli Garden at when they call it Railway Oval, in West Kingston, they are going to get home games there. The Jews land, we saw the Arnett Garden game against Waterhouse, the Bowman Classical. It's a lovely pitch down there in Jewsland. The stadiums, the light, seeing how Jewsland mini stadium light used to be, it looked brighter, the field looked more green, it looked more refreshing. So I hope they can keep it going on throughout the whole season. It will be hard because Waterhouse only got one field, but not like Arnett Garden can use the Charles Smith High School team and train. So yeah, I just love to see the games go back into the community. I think Ferdinand Park should be up and ready. The next thing, Chapelton Maroons and Falcon, they got relegated. As I said earlier, Treasure Beach and Lima got promoted, so it's a 14 league team. Everyone, my favorite part is the food at Arnett Garden, at Anthony Sports Parling Complex. Who don't know that lady that ball is soup, over Arnett Garden, that bald head lady, her ear kind of shaved low, it's one of the best soup you can get around in football grounds, to be honest. It's lovely. The jerk pan over there, whenever they jerk chicken, it's like nowhere else when you go at a football game. So, the foods are really lovely. And I think you have this another lady that, I used to buy bun and cheese from like every half time. Once my dad see me get up, he know what time it is, I need my money to go get some bun and cheese. But yeah, we need to upgrade, the food item, and I would love to see is either we going to give, the vendors a spot for themselves with their own little thing, and they have their own little logos, and their little, little shed, their little food shed or a food cart or something, they can advertise their brand, or the club's going to take responsibility and sell their own food, that help create more revenue for the clubs. I would love to see the clubs use up their social media page more. I'd love to see the clubs try to get on the TikTok, try to get on the Instagram, all these stuff, and these things help build up revenue for the clubs, so I love to see that. And I think that's it, but I'm going to jump right into the video. I said a lot, a whole 9 minutes or 8 minutes of a conversation, things that I really love to see. As I said, the Jamaican Premier League is my bread and butter. I eat, sleep on it, God. I love watching this league. I would watch this league every day. I don't care what people want to say. Oh yeah, the Jamaican Premier League players are this, are they that, they will watch the English Premier League more. No, me, this is what I raise, and so I love, this is what comes first, So yeah, Antigua Bay and Lima played on the weekend. They kick off the JPL with the game drew 0-0. I would say both teams matched out each other. They cancelled out each other. Both teams were on the same level, but the Brazilian players, I think that number 10 for Antigua Bay, he could see that he's excellent on the ball, but the game got a little bit more physical for him. But I think if the Antigua Bay team can play him in the game more, and try to let him play the ball to feet, going direct and make those passes. I see him try to make a few true passes and all of that, but the goalkeeper also is a Brazilian from Antigua Bay, and he's really good at the ball at his feet. I see him kick a few long passes and it go exactly on the player foot. I think 2 or 3 of the Brazilians played. Nedir dos Santos is the coach. He's a Brazilian coach. He's talk about his aspiration, his goals for this season. He said he would love to qualify, for the top six. As sorry, as the Jamaican Premier League, it's all about, a league format and then a round robin. So the top two will qualify automatically for the semi-final, and 3, 4, 5, and 6 position will play at a quarter-final, and then the other two teams will join the top two teams for the semi-final. And as I said, four Brazilian players came in. Mobile United finished 10th last season, but they're hoping to finish in the top six. And I think they have a new ownership. I think what's his name? I think Arvil Powell. They call Pow. He's not the owner anymore for Montego Bay. They changed ownership. They see they got some new deals and all of that. Lime all, Lime is from St. Ann. I think St. Ann parish president Danny Beckford, he was talking about this team. He's grateful for our two teams from St. Ann in the Premier League at one time. He had a son. He played. Danny Beckford have a son. He played for Lime All. He played yesterday. David Price, the coach for Lime All, he talked about his 13 players that he brought in the transfer window over the preseason to come in and fit in this team, trying to give them a strength. He's trying to play competitive football, and he's talking about, the challenges for this team is always to stay in the Premier League for next season, but that's it for the first game. Mount Pleasant beat Portmore United 1. Last year these two teams draw, both game draw. I think the goal that scored, I think it was a free kick from Damara Phillips. That ball go to the back post and came back over at the far post, and Aston Gawain, the former Portmore player, he scored a lone goal, and that's how the result ended that day. Tapa Whitmore, got his first 3 points on the board. He's on the verge, looking to defend his title. Mount Pleasant is one of the favorite, to be honest. They're going to be one of the favorite. I think they have a couple players. I think one of the players named Ori and James, both of them are from Trinidad. They played over the international break. None of them featured over the weekend for Mount Pleasant. But Tapa style of playing, it is, you will not see Tapa Whitmore play, beautiful style of football. It's all about result for him, and he spoke about it in his post-game interview. It's all about results. As I said, Trevante Stewart, Trevante scored, I think, 15 goals last season, so it's going to be hard to replace. They brought in some players. They took around 4 players, from my team. Arnett Garden, I think they took the captain Guthrie Deacon, Martin Allen, and I think it's 3, and Fabian Reid is not there anymore, but Deacon gave what's his name? Chung. Okwesi Chung, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He was, I think he was in Europe for a year and a half ago. He was previously playing for, he was a high school standout for JC. Previously used to play for Arborview. Now he's at Mount Pleasant. But the former Arnett Garden player though, Damari Deacon, gave Chung a sitter. I don't know how he missed the ball. They could have easily won that game 2-0, but that game was all about Mount Pleasant going forward. I think the only chance that came from the game from Portmore, I think it was the start of the second half when they got a corner kick, and that ball kick at the near post, and that was the only chance Portmore really created in that game. But let's see what's going to happen. But one of Mount Portmore key player, Marshall is out. Philip Williams talk about, he would love to be, as Portmore narrowly missed the playoff last season. I think 1 point behind Dunbeholden. They missed out. I think it was on the last day before the round robin tournament start. What, last season Portmore conceded the least goals in the Premier League, 17. Yeah, they conceded the least goals in the Premier League. So this is a team that love to defend. Philip Williams, this is his second season, at Portmore. So yeah, he's trying to get into the playoff. That's the objective. Portmore's a big team. Portmore got relegated a few years ago, and they came back with a bang and won league back to back. So, you have to give Portmore some credit. But we're going to move on. The other game, the game that played yesterday, Monday, the first game on Monday, Veer, they drew 0-0 with Moline. That game played at the Anthony Sports Bowling Complex at Arnett Garden. Big up to Linval, Rudy Dixon. I love to see, former players, coaching the teams as they can pass down their experience, their knowledge and all about what they learn as a player, translate it to the younger players, to the younger generation and groom them properly. But last year, Veer finished 12th. They drew 12 games. They only win 3 games. So this is a team where they drew a lot of games and they started the season and drew the game against Moline. I think they were the second best team in the game. I think Molines got the best chances in that game. But Veer though they scored 15 goals last season, goal conceded 32 goals. So yeah, they conceded a whole lot of goals, but they just drew games. It was hard to sometimes to beat this Fear team, as I think all 3 of their games were 1-0 victory. So yeah, they did what they have to do to survive in the Premier League last season. But in the game, as I said, Veer didn't really create any big chances in the game. They took I think the captain took some long range shot. We have to big up the former Arnett Garden player, Lamar Neal. He was excellent. He was really good on the day. I think he took a cup free kick. I think one hit the bar. He took some long range shot. He was the one in the middle. I think with the captain. I don't remember what his name, but they were trying to orchestrate things for Veer, but it just didn't work. Um, Veer United goalkeeper, I think he got man of the match. Kudos to him. He made a couple saves in the game. Some really point blank save. Jason Wright, he tested him, but we're going to move on there right now. For Mullines, Alex Thomas. Alex Thomas, is a former Jamaica player. He was a standout player for the under 20s. He was a coach for the Jamaica young team, but he only get 1 game for the senior teams. Formerly have previously coach Arnett Garden, formerly Arnett Garden player in the past. So yeah, but Alex is looking for better this season. He's trying to move a little bit up more in the table for this Mullines team. But Jace Wright, he's the man of the moment for Mullines last season. He scored 15 goals, and I think the other player, Nicholas Nelson, I think he scored 7 goals. Both of them scored almost half of the goals, that Mullines scored last season. I think Mullines scored 39 goals last season, but they had something new up front, and I saw it yesterday with what's his name, Tevin Scott. I think he's coming from Portmore United. He's kind of similar, different from what Nicholas Nelson was partnership with Jason Wright up front. Scott is kind of a player that play the ball to feet. Nicholas Nelson is more like a player that with speed, go at players. I saw if they got another player on the wing, his name is Livingston. I think he got the best chance of the game, but he didn't score. But Jason Wright, Jason Wright, who remember Jason Wright from the 2011 Under 17 World Cup when we qualified for that tournament in Mexico. I think when that qualifiers, for that Youth 17 CONCACAF played, it was in Jamaica. It was at Montego Bay, and I think he got leading goal scorer for that whole competition. He helped bring Jamaica to the Under 17 World Cup in 2011 in Mexico. But Mullines, as I said, they got the best chances at the game. Livingston, but he just couldn't score. But I did I miss anything? Yeah, Mullines, they conceded 48 goals last season, and for them to start the season with a draw, it's a positive result for them. Alex, the coach, spoke about it. Concede so many goals last season. I think that was one of their biggest downfall. They just couldn't keep enough clean sheets, because sometimes Mullines started the game really well, but they just couldn't manage to hold on their leads, and that's how they give up a lot of their leads, and they just fall a little bit. Because at one point I was thinking Mullines was going to qualify for that playoff, but it didn't happen. But we're going to move on to the big game, the big Monday night game. Arnett Garden versus Dunbeholden. Even though the game drew 0-0, it was kind of a little exciting game. I was happy to see my team back in the playing again in front of their home crowd. Arnett Garden is the regular season champion as we finished first. We finished on 55 points. There were just a few points, I think, behind Cavaliers, but Arnett Garden won the Boom Cup. I forgot to say, Mount Pleasant won the Peter Gould Cup. Mount Pleasant won the Powerade final rematch. But Arnett got the new coach, Xavier Gilbert. It is a household that changes over there in the complex. The Dutch coach, Eric, the assistant coach, was on that Teagat Davis. They're both not at the club anymore. So, Xavier Gilbert, not farmer, he's the current coach for Excelsior women team. He just picked up the job for the national senior women's team, the Reggae Girls. He's over there in Panama. I think they play tomorrow. So this is one thing. This is what they fired. They had problems. The owner, what's his name? I can't remember the owner. The politician. I don't remember his name. Mark Golden. This is what the problems that Mark Golden was having with Jerome Way. Jerome was the assistant coach for the Reggae Boys. He was on the coaching staff for the Reggae Boys, and he kept going away when the international break coming up, and the JPL was still going on, and they said Jerome would have too much things to do, and they just want him to focus on Arnett Garden now. See, Xavier Gilbert is the interim coach for the Reggae Girls, so I don't know, but yeah, I spoke about it. Player like Ajuma Johnson left the club. Fabian Reid is after India. I think he's going to play in the second division in India. He's still on the island. He saw him at the game yesterday. Guthrie, Deacon, Allen. These players were vital pieces to Arnett Garden. And I think there was another player. I don't remember. His nickname is I think is Visional. I don't remember his name, but he played half a season last season for Arnett Garden. I think I don't remember, but if I remember his name, I will put it up on the screen. But quite a few players left Arnett Garden, but Arnett Garden have a really deep squad last season, a really deep squad. So younger players going to come in. Like Rashid Kelson, Kimani Arbon is one of the elder states in the team, even though he's still young, but he's been at the club for over 7 years. So what it is to be a junglist, and all of that. But let's see what's going to happen, because I saw, Dickey Williams and another coach was on the touchline coaching the team yesterday. But let's talk about the game. Arnett Garden, had the better chances in the game, as we could have opened the scoring in the seconds of the game, by Kimani Arbon, got so many chances, Rashid Kelsey got chances, Martin, what's his name? Marlon Martin, the midfielder, he got chances in the game, but the front three is what going to bring Arnett Garden forward this season. The front three, Shea Smith, I think he scored 5 goals last season after coming over in that January break from Portmore. He came in on a bang. He gave the team a little bit different dynamic look for the junglist last season. So Shea Smith, Rashid Kelson, and Kimani Arbon, the front three. And I think we have another player on the bench. I think his name is Brown, younger player. He used to coach. He used to play for Tivoli. I think he was playing for Stats. Sent on the technical in the high school football. Then he played a season at Tivoli. Then he went overseas, but he's back and he's at Arnett Garden. So he's someone that can come in and play that number 9 role. But the 3 main man going to be up front is Rashid Kelsey, Kimani Arbon, and Shea Smith. These players going to have to score a lot of goals for Arnett Garden. That's where the goals going to come from. Man like Shepard, man like Marlon Martin in the middle, going to have to hold things down. But my captain, Joel Cunningham, he was excellent yesterday on the day. Everything was sealed by him. He made one thing I like with this player. I saw him last season. I was taking real observation on him. When he picked up the ball as a defender, his first passes is always try to get Arnett Garden on the counter, on the break. This is how Arnett Garden play quick football in transition. So yeah, we know Arnett Garden created a few chances yesterday. We should have won that game. We should have won that game. Clearly, no doubt, we should have won that game. But That's the nature of football. We drew, but nevertheless, new players, new system, new coaches, new coaching staff, everything. So yeah, we will take the points and move on from there. And that's the thing I don't really like with the JPL. You can't even know who is going to be the next opponent. The fixtures, you can't even look at the fixtures, and I'm having problems with the seeing the fixtures. I can't see a full list of fixtures for all the teams, so I can break down the games a little bit more easier. Because when you live, outside of Jamaica, not going to games, you rely on the TV games, you rely on stats, you rely on everything, try to break down the games. And, and I want to do my YouTube work, things that I love to do about, the league that I love, JPL, and if you can see, you know, this is like, all the teams in the league, when I go on when I go on fixtures, this is what comes up. There's nothing comes up when I go on fixtures. So, I don't even know who is on it. God, the next game is, if they don't post it until like 2-3 days before match day, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. So, but big up to the junglist, man. Big up to the junglist. I really love it. But the crowd, it was a disappointed crowd in the jungle yesterday. I was expecting more people turn out, but we understand what's going on around the environment, and hope all these results can solve really quickly, but junglist red and black, that's where it come from, yeah. But we're going to move on. But one, I think I missed a few things, for the junglist. Fabian Reed, man, I have to shout out Fabian Reed. 74 goals in the Premier League. It's a lot of goals. It's really a lot. Fabian Reed is a really quality player. I think he should have get a little bit more chances in the national team. Unfortunately, he didn't get it. He's proved his work. This player went to Georgia, the country Georgia. He went to the Trinidad League and play. Now he's after India. Last season he scored 16 goals. So it's going to be up to again Kieran Arbon, the Liga up front, going to get he's going to have to get most of the goals up front for Arnett Garden, him and Rashid Kelsey. You see me kept emphasizing on those top three. Those players are the one that going to break through games for Arnett Gardner. Joel Cunningham, Gerald Neal. That's Uno Kunte, Gerald Neal, CM Junior. That's his son. Formerly Arnett Garden standout. But Dikai Williams yesterday talk about again the leadership of Kimani Arbon is going to be really key up front, and Dikai Williams is a former player for Arnett Garden. He used to play in the MLS, I think for Toronto, he used to play for Harborview, so he is a former player, so he is a former player, he know what to expect from his players, but I'm going to move on a little and talk about Dunbeholden. Dunbeholden, coached by Lenny Hyde, new coach, what happened with him at Chapelton Maroon, all that conflict. Good to see Lenny Teacher Hyde, back in the dugout, when you see Lenny Hyde picked up a team, you know exactly what to expect, playing that little tiki-taka. We saw how Clarendon College been playing over the years, close touch football, ball to feet and all of that. Good coach, really good coach, Lenny Hyde. I really look up to Lenny Hyde as Lenny Hyde, he is a former player, in his time playing. I heard so many stories about Lenny Hyde, man. I wish I could see all these players, back in the days, Alan Skill Cole. I see a little bit of Walter Boy, I see a little bit of the legend, and Andy Lowe and all of that. But, Dunbeholden, as I said earlier, they finished 6th spot last season, that 1 point above Portmore United, but they know Nikai Christian, Fabian McCarthy, he broke his leg last season. I think he only played like quarter of the games, or I think quarter of the games last season are half of the games, but really good player, Fabian McCarthy is one of those players in the midfield that, being one of the best in the league for many years, his calmness on the ball. He's kind of similar to what, Sergio Busquets played this game. I really love his player, and I think if he's really fit, I think the game coming up against Guatemala, I think, Coach Al Grimsey can give him a look in this team, as he can really fit in that deep role midfield for the Reggae Boys. He's really good. I think he's been called up a few times, and DeAndre Thomas up front, he's going to be the key man for Dunbeholden. I think he created a few chances yesterday for himself, but Arnett Garden didn't give them much spaces in the box in and around, so they could test at Dunbeholden keeper Damien I had Farmer again, Arnett Garden captain, Farmer, Arnett Garden champion in the Premier League. He made 5 saves last night. Eric Edwards, Arnett Garden goalkeeper, he didn't make any saves, so Dunbeholden didn't really have much to offer towards Arnett goal. Big up to Joel Cunningham again, the Arnett Garden captain. So that's it. Tivoli, beat Waterhouse on Sunday at the National Stadium. Jerome versus Marcel Fuzzy Gale. It's going to be a cracking season this season. Listen to me. This season, it's going to be really good. You know why? You have so many good coaches in the league. You have coach like I wouldn't even think that I would see a coach like Jerome with coaching Tivoli. This is why football is kind of evolve from certain things what used to happen, politics and all of that in the league, in the football. Because Jerome is a true and true red and black junglist, and Arnett Garden, between Arnett Garden and Waterhouse, the communities, they just can't agree. PNP versus what is it? So yeah, so Tivoli beat Waterhouse 3-0. It was a couple goals. I think it was a mistake, especially the second and third goal. Even the first goal, that header came from the right side of Tivoli and that in the back post. And who remember that goal that Lionel Messi scored on Manchester United in the UEFA Champions League final in 2009? Yeah, it's something similar to that. So big up to Howard Morrison for that goal. Justin Dunn, nice build up again over by the left hand side for Tivoli, and it was a beautiful finish, beautiful finish. And then, Shaquille Dunn put, I think that's his name. I think his name is Shaquille, yeah, Shaquille, put the icing on the cake, for Tivoli and made that 3-0. I think one of the first shot to the goal, the keeper blocked it and the rebound came back and it go across the box, and two Waterhouse players were on the line and they just couldn't stop it. But yeah, Jeremy talk about his objectives on Tivoli Garden this season. I was surprised he didn't say he was trying to go again, and try to make the top 6 for Tivoli Garden. I think last year it was Admiral Bailey and former Tivoli player, former Jamaica Reggae Boy standout, Jeremy and Teddy Johnson. He was the assistant coach on the Admiral Bailey. I saw him in the stadium, I think last night, game at the Anthony Sports Balling Complex. And Jeremy talk about his philosophy and his tactics and how players going to adjust to his system. As Jeremy is one, to me, Jeremy is the biggest club coach in Jamaica, or the biggest coach in Jamaica. He's the most successful coach. He done it in high school football, he done it in business house, he done it in the Premier League. He's done it everywhere he goes, man. And I talking from a true and true junglist, I wouldn't want to see Jeremy win a Premier League for Tivoli. I don't really like this team. I like this team because of football, but history, rivalry, I don't want Tivoli Garden to win. But he talk about players adjust to his new style of playing, and he said the one thing that I really realized, he said everyone welcome him at Tivoli Garden. Everyone welcome him. And that's what I love to see. But last season, Tivoli finished on 22 points. They concede 29 goals, and no, they scored 29 goals and concede 42. So they have a plus. They have a minus 13. So Jeremy I know Jeremy going to seal up things at the back. They're going to be a team that more solid, but they're going to have that counter press. Tivoli, just watch out. But Barrington Price, he's talk about he needs for the support whenever a game's going to be at the real when they call it the railway oval, in Tivoli Garden at Edward Siaga Sports Complex. He talk about he need the fans to come out and support, and he said it was a really good support at the National Stadium on Sunday. But the games will play at Tivoli, games will play at Waterhouse. The next game, Humble Lion, versus Treasure Beach. Humble Lion played that game at Effortville Community Center in Clarendon, and they won that game 1-0. Courtesy of Andrew Vanzi. This guy just can't stop score for Humble Lion. He is a true and true Humble Lion player. He has been doing it. I remember Vanzi, I think he scored a free kick last season at Arnett Garden. So yeah, he beat the new boys Treasure Beach 1-0. Beautiful show. I love Treasure Beach, New Jersey. As Treasure Beach will play their home game at Stets. But Andrew Price, I think Andrew Price and O'Neill Bigger Thompson again, formerly Arnett Garden, Boystown. He's playing in Europe, I think in Sweden, in Norway. If former reggae boy player. He's an assistant coach for Andrew Price. So people, it's come to an end. A beautiful show of the Jamaican Premier League. Episode 1. I'm going to try to do this every week as the games goes by. I don't live in Jamaica, so I have to rely on the games that I saw and highlights. And look at clippings and try to pick up a few stats on there. And present it to the people that who can't see, who can't really get a nice breakdown from the game. So I'm here. Nicardo Media House is where you're going to get your JPL breakdown and details of the match days and the Monday night football and all of that. I want to see the league promote more games. So you have people like me and other Jamaican YouTubers out there that who going to do content on the Jamaican Premier League. But yeah, it's a nice match day. The feels, the visual, the camera, everything is really good about Sportsmax. Pick up Sportsmax again. But hold on, one thing, as I was watching this game, I was trying to score. The Jamaican reggae boys have some issues, trying to get midfielders, and watching the JPL, I'm just trying to focus and to see if I can see that one player, who can really fit in this reggae boys team. But I was saying this from last year. Ajuma Johnson from Arnett Garden, he played left back. He can play anywhere. Ajuma Johnson can play anywhere on the football pitch. Ajuma is a really good player. He's really technical, and I think he's a player that over the years, Harborview, he went from Arnett to Harborview. So over the years, Harborview tried to replace German legend again after the game, and they tried to replace it with Romario Williams. Who remember Romario Williams used to play for Norman Manley High School. He was previously at even Mount Pleasant Waterhouse. But Romario Williams is a really gifted player but wasted his talent. They tried to replace him with Germany, but I feel like Harborview signing Ajuma Johnson, a left-footed player, someone has created. But the only thing different between Ajuma and Germany, Germany bring a little calmness on the ball. Ajuma Johnson, he bring that, but he's kind of rash in his challenge. He's kind of hot-headed. He picked up silly cards and that, but I think he's one of the perfect fit to replace a German in Harborview team, really and truly. But he's a good addition to the Harborview team. But Cavaliers and Harborview didn't play. They have their safe few games that they're going to play. Both of them going to play together. So look out for that. But yeah, you have come to the end of the Nicardo Media House JPL show. As I said, this is episode 1. Many to come. So yeah, big up. And I would love to get someone from Jamaica on the show. Who watch the game. Who I can build a partnership and come on and we reason about and give the players, give the fans out there who in the diaspora more in depth of what's going on. So yeah, shout out to everyone if you here, just remember, like up the videos, smash the bell if you new, comment, tell me who's your favorite team and all of that. So yeah, big up, this is Nicardo Media House. Salute.